Hi, my name is Sam Johnson and I am a voice teacher. Today I will be reacting to and analyzing Billie Eilish and Debbie Harry performing Is That All There Is as a Peggy Lee tribute. I'm reacting to this because my student Andy asked me to. If you want to be my student and maybe send me a text and say, hey Sam, I'm really into this song. Do you think that it's good? She didn't even say that. She just was like, I like this song, and I'm doing this. If you're interested in doing something like that, go check out my website, vocalease.net. Sign up for a voice lesson with me or with another one of the wonderful teachers on there and become a better singer.
I remember when I was a little girl, our house caught on fire. I'll never forget the look on Daddy's face as he gathered me up in his arms and raced through the burning building onto the pavement. I stood there shivering in my pajamas and watched my whole world go up in flames. When it was all over, I said to myself, is that all there is to a fire? Is that all there is?
I'm not in on the joke. I don't know what's going on. I don't know this song.
Is that all there is? If that's all there is, my friends, then let's keep dancing. Let's break out the blues and have a ball. If that's all.
Good. If we were looking at her voice in a spectral analyzer or something, we would probably see that she's not completely right on the center of the pitch every single time. I don't think it really distracts too much though, because good singing isn't always on pitch. Good singing isn't always in the center of the note. I still consider this good singing. It was interesting as she approached the first line, the very top, it sounded just a little bit tenser than the rest of it. And then when she went into the next line, she got some nice release. I don't think that most people are gonna listen to that and be like, oh wow, she's a little tense and she might be just a hair under pitch and therefore it's wrong. I think that they just listen more to the whole thing and hear that she is communicating well. She's got a lovely tone of voice. She's on pitch enough that we're kind of strapped in. I don't listen to this and think oh my gosh, we just have to fix so much. It's just not a thing.
There is.
And when I was 12 years old, my daddy took me to the circus. There were clowns and elephants and dancing bears. And a beautiful lady in pink tights flew high above our heads. But as I sat there watching, I had the feeling that something was missing. I don't know what, but when it was all over, I said to myself, is that all there is to the circus?
The joke is that it's part of the song. I'm just silly.
Circus, is that all there is? Is that all there is?
Okay, Billie. Yeah, okay, Miss Eilish. That's... So she's at the E4, which is not super high, but she is singing with a lot more core to her voice than I am used to in some of the other videos that I have seen of her singing. She started with a little bit of a glottal at the is, which kind of brings the vocal folds together. And a lot of people think that glottals are bad. They're not. Constriction is not very helpful. So if you're using a lot of extra musculature to kind of get that glottal constriction, that's not very helpful. That's not what she's doing. This is another level up in Billie Eilish's career, in my opinion. But I think she's been able to do this kind of stuff before, but I just haven't seen her use it as much before. So maybe she hasn't been as confident with it until lately. I don't know. I was listening to an interview of Bruce Springsteen a year ago or something. I can't remember what podcast it was on, but it was on a podcast. And he was talking about how his whole career he has been practicing using vibrato just backstage, in the practice room, everywhere, whatever. But he has never felt comfortable enough to bring it in front of an audience until last year. I love that. it could be very possible that Billie has been able to do this kind of stuff and she's just like, yeah, it's just not the time. Now it's the time. And I like it. I really like this sound so far.
If that's all there is, my friends, then let's keep dancing. Let's break up the booze and have a ball.
Yeah, this works.
If that's all there is.
Good. So interesting, when she went to the is, she went into this really big smiley place, but it didn't distort the vowel very much. There is. A lot of times when newer singers are moving back and forth between those kind of positions, it sounds like a totally different sound. She is so secure with her internal structure of her vowel that she can kind of move the front of her mouth quite a bit and it doesn't totally wreck the rest of the sound.
And then I fell in love with the most wonderful boy in the world. And we take long walks down by the river, or just sit for hours gazing into each other's eyes. We were so very much in love. And then one day, he went away. I thought I'd die, but I didn't. And when I didn't, I said to myself, is that all there is to love?
Great delivery.
Is that all there is? Is that all there is? If that's all there is, my friend, then let's keep.
I know what you must be saying to yourselves. If that's the way she feels about it, why doesn't she just end it all? Oh no, not me. I'm not ready for that final disappointment.
Because I know just as well as I'm standing here talking to you, that when that final moment comes and I'm breathing my last breath, I'll be saying to myself, is that all there is? Is that all there is?
Their voices together sound really, really good. It's surprising to me that Billie is the one that has a little bit less breathiness, to be honest. I mean, I'm just so expecting the breathier sound that she has used for most of her career thus far. And I've been saying for a while, like, I'm really excited to see what Billie comes up with when she's 26. I'm really excited to see how she continues to change her sound because I think she's super talented. I think she's a really versatile singer. I think she hasn't shown us a thimbleful of what she is capable of vocally. And she's one of the biggest pop stars in the world, which is just absolutely wild. But it's kind of interesting because even using such a small amount of what I think she's capable of, she has come up with a really wonderful discography. People love her. And yet I think that a lot of us look at our own instruments and we're like, I can only do this. I can only do this one sound. I can only use this part of my range. I can only do this thing. That's all I can do. That's not enough. Whatever. I just, it's not enough. And is that all there is? Is that all there is? I'm not going to do anything. Then they don't do anything rather than being like, yeah, that's all there is. I'm going to make the most out of whatever I am comfortable with. So I think it's really cool to see her continue to evolve and to grow up and to collaborate with other people who are wonderful.
If that's all there is, my friend, then let's keep dancing. Let's break up the rules and have a ball. If that's all.
There's a very speech-like quality to their delivery, which I think works really well for the style. I'm not an expert in jazz. I've sung a little bit of jazz. I've listened to a little bit of jazz. I haven't listened to nearly as much vocal jazz as I have just instrumental jazz, to be completely honest. One thing that I've always been struck with by the people that I've respected in the genre is that they do have a very spoken delivery and they're able to go, it's like this beautiful, sultry voice speaking in rhythm. It's not very jarring when it goes between the more speaky bits and the more sung bits. And I think they're both doing a really wonderful job with that. Another thing I'm noticing with Billie is her delayed vibrato, which I've heard in a lot of her other stuff before, works so well with this style. Like, Billie, take a little bit of a page from the Lady Gaga book and maybe come out with a full record of singing jazz stuff because you're good at it. And I think that it's cool. They got there. Nice. Nice. Yeah, so that last pitch, like, there was a little bit of dissonance between the two voices coming in on that a cappella bit. And then when the instruments kind of came in and they both listened to each other, they really tuned in and found the tonal center. And I think that's a really important thing, is to be able to go a little off and to come back strong. As long as you continue listening to yourself, listening to whoever you're collaborating with, making adjustments, and also just not showing like, oh my gosh, I heard that I'm just a little bit sharp, I'm a little bit flat or whatever. If you call attention to a mistake, which I'm not saying that's a mistake, but I think a lot of people will hear themselves go a little bit off pitch and then they'll just stop. And they're like, oh, Sam, I that was awful. Like, my pitch was terrible. And I'm like, you didn't even finish. You just stopped. It's a really good sign of a well-developed singer and a experienced singer to be able to notice those kind of things and not have it wreck your entire performance. Yeah, they sound really good together. They've got really good stage energy. They've got good back and forth between each other. I would love to see more of this. Very cool. Also, I know her name is William Eilish. Come on. William Eilish, sorry. Yeah, I know what her name is. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day. Don't ever get dogs. Beautiful Fs, Molly. Really good stuff. Yeah, nice round vowels. Mm-hmm.